What's the L stand for? No, you know what? Shake hands first.
I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
I'm being used.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation.
You seem rich.
And the
I
full
got some
cooperation
cash.
of the Wild Pines group.
I'm actually gonna do it.
Yo,
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
Why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
Hey. Not your bub.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible.
Yeah.
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian,
damn.
barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too.
What feeling?
Huh.
What are you?
A goddamn working man.
What is this feeling?
Shame? You haven't really been in the presence of gentlefolk either, have you? What shame is there to be felt in front of these dock workers, cops, and hotel clerks, but to belittle yourself in these eyes of Odinir?
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Is moderate.
Never saw that one before. That's crazy. All right.
What, to just go do it?
Oh yeah, I had too much pride in my heart.
Oh, really?
We're doing it.
Which will be funny.
You can always raise your volition and try again, so it's not a issue, really.
I am
Yeah.
sorry.
Excuse me? I didn't hear you.
I failed.
What you
Okay,
meant to
anyway.
say was,
Tell me about
And
the Wild
volition is a
Pines.
health
What
stat,
we
is
do.
your moral health
Okay.
I'm
stat, so
afraid
it is
I
useful
don't
to raise.
speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
All right, what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
the Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
Who?
Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
Got it.
She nods.
Tell me about the strike.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements that gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
I will slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
All right.
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the Union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The Union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Yeah, oh, Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
So the strike is connected to the lynching. Interesting.
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later.
Well, how were they going before?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Did you put those scabs there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
No, I mean scabs.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
All right, what happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay, then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
All right, what are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
I don't know what to think about that.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Pretty funny.
Uh,
Pretty good. That's pretty
He's
good.
dead, baby.
the king is dead. All right, moving on.
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Yep. All right, tell me about the union boss.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
We should stab him.
You sound like you're about to stab him.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
There's two of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Alright. What about the union itself?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
What you thinking about?
Well, I will point out,
Yes.
the game is very much political.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking with someone who's talking politics,
Yeah.
it's relevant to consider they have their own spin.
Yeah.
So do you believe everything they say? Do you say what they want to hear?
Yeah, those are the two that I'm balancing here. Do I want to say what they want to hear? Because they might open up if they think I agree.
But on the other hand, sometimes going against some guy makes them angry enough to actually like open up in different
That's
ways.
true too. That's true too.
Why do you think so?
Yes. All right.
Can't fault them for what's a little corruption in a union, you know? Come on.
Wink.
Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. They're an interesting composition, albeit vile. But enough about Everard. What else can I do for you?
We got something about the election.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
Yeah, that. I need to know that.
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files.
It does not just happen. Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
New topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
Lynching.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Shit.
Shit!
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
The thing.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
I apparently don't remember anything, and I don't remember anything.
Which flavor
The
do you
way you
want?
want to say it.
It's the same.
It is the same.
Oh,
Well, it's not
dear.
exactly the same.
Some
One is
kind of
admitting you're an alcoholic,
encephalopathic
and the other is
amnesia.
deeply
I don't
nihilistic.
even know how to respond.
It's
I
fine.
do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Whew.
Wait, it's a... Alright. Is that a red check or a...
Yeah, it's red.
Sympathy for your amnesia, but your
Nice.
suggestion is down because of things.
It sure is down because of things.
That said, this is a one and done. You probably can't reach this tree again.
Fuck it.
Feeling
Damn it!
will guide the way.
All right.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
Also, kind of like a low risk check because
Yeah.
it just delays this until you find your badge.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is the entirety of my existence. No. Actually, this is the entirety of my existence.
The wind flaps the sail.
It is.
above her.
From the moment you become aware of yourself, this
All
is
right.
all it is.
Listen, this is it. I
Officer.
only.
Oh!
All right. This is it.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're
Oh my
doing
God.
it. Despite
Oh,
your
wait.
own best efforts,
doing
you're
it.
still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
All right. Like what?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
All right. Let's do that. Check. Oh, nice autosave, but we're gonna. I still don't have anything. Really weird.
They could doing that, like, update something, but I don't know.
Anyway, save.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
All right. How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance and, not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Ah, I thought it was going so well.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
I mean, we could just find my bed.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Girl, do you want us to not investigate?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Okay.
Alright.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Tell me about the drugs.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
This.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut. Yes,
To
but
investigate.
you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Am I going to need bolt cutters?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
We're not telling her about our findings, so not number 4. Why didn't you... What?
5 is just agreeing to do the investigation.
Yeah. Hey, how come you didn't come to the RCM sooner?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCN. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence.
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
Proof that the union is involved.
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay, so... We're not agreeing to anything yet.
She simply nods.
That's all for now.
Of course, Detective.
What's in here?
More.
Wait,
more
how do I go
content.
anywhere? Oh, whoa.
What's up?
That was weird. It's fine. Just like the stark black of the wall made it look like that was an upper floor.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. Hey.
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me. Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
I'm looking for a Martin Martinez. I have a few questions.
Ask away, policeman.
Who? Oh, Cindy. Okay.
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. She leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
All right.
She mumbles some kind of a response.
Uh,
then hacks something into her handkerchief.
I'm looking for Martin.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
No, you don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a real person named Martin Martinez. He told me he's
That's
Martin Martinez.
Why would he lie to me?
Pea-brain.
Yes.
Someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from
I
Martinez.
got 5 experience for that.
Like Jim Jamrock or Raoul
It's how you learned that you got tricked.
You really didn't get the joke there.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
Description.
Yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No, I just want to talk to him.
Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
Who are you?
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways. If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
Okay, bye. We got him. Number 28.
Can't believe he lied.
Money.
Also, I think there was a path to the top to that woman. I think.
Huh?
Like there was an open door.
Postcard.
Oh yeah, you can pawn that.
What tab?
No door.
I think postcards are only good for pawning.
Yeah, I thought
That
that was an
door.
open door.
Oh, over here. Torn down the wall.
Oh.
A book. Money and health. Oh yeah. How about this door? Interact with book?
Nope. Well, with the book, yes.
In your hands, you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Heavy.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. It would do that in Grad. You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long.
Wow.
Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading.
Back cover.
That's my guy,
The back
conceptualization.
cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
Yes, but I want to see the author.
She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph. And yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you.
Read the
In
book.
cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugograd riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. The Yugograd riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugograd Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes. It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you
Nope.
sure?
I can't. I can't because it will physically hurt
You've
me.
made the right life
Can't risk
choices
it.
today, sir.
Read it
Will
later.
kill
Don't worry
me.
about it.